Imagine yourself 3,000 feet deep in the ocean where sunlight does not penetrate. The deep sea is a mysterious place that scientists know little about but are learning more about each day. Most creatures that live in the deep sea are bioluminescent and live very different lifestyles than the fish that we ordinarily see. Some creatures that live in the deep sea are the vampire squid, the deep sea anglerfish, and the gulper eel. The vampire squid reside in tropical and temperate oceans around 1,800 to 3,500 feet deep. The vampire squid can range from black to a pale red in color. The vampire squid have very large eyes that can be either blue or red in color. The vampire squid are cephalopods, meaning they share similarities between octopuses and squid. They have 8 tentacles that are webbed together. They have very large fins at the top of their heads that look like ears, but they serve as propellers. They also expel water to move like a jet. At the end of each of their 8 legs, they have photophores, which are light-producing organs that use a chemical process called bioluminescence, which allows them to glow. They use these photophores as a defense mechanism because they shoot the bioluminescent fluid at any enemies coming towards them because they lack an ink sac. The vampire squid are around 5 inches long. They have beak-like jaws in between each of their webbed tentacles that they eat crustaceans with. A good adaptation that the vampire squid have is a very low metabolic rate, which is good because they can go long periods of time without eating because the food is scarce in the deep sea. Along with the vampire squid, the deep sea anglerfish reside in the deep sea. The deep sea anglerfish are found all around the world, about 3,000 feet deep. The deep sea anglerfish can be, if they are female, about 5 inches long, and if they are male, the size of a pinky. Their body is round, and their skin can either be brown or dark gray or black. The deep sea anglerfish skin reflects bioluminescent light from other creatures that live down there, which is good because it makes them invisible to other creatures. It's a good adaptation for the deep sea anglerfish to have because they swim very slow, so they would be easy prey. The deep sea anglerfish have a dorsal spine at the top of their head that has their photophore, which is the light-producing organ that they use to lure in their prey with. What the deep sea anglerfish do is they stay completely still and they wave their light around, which they have very good control over. And once a prey is close, they use their very sharp fang-like teeth to trap the prey. A good adaptation that the deep sea anglerfish have is they can extend their jaw and their stomach twice the size of their body so they can consume larger prey. The deep sea anglerfish males, they struggle because they are small. So what they do is they find a female and they bite into their skin. And once they do this, it releases an enzyme that fuses their jaw and the female's skin together. And their blood vessels connect and become one. Once this happens, the male is attached to the deep sea anglerfish female for the rest of its life, and it just fuels off her nutrients. Along with the vampire squid and the deep sea anglerfish, the gulper eel is found in the deep sea. The gulper eel is also known as the pelican eel because of its jaw similarities. It has a jaw like a pelican. They reside in tropical and temperate oceans about 600 to 6,000 feet deep. They have a whip-like tail that has a photophore at the end, which is the bioluminescent light that they use to lure their prey. They weren't built for chasing their prey, and that's why the light comes in handy for them. They eat crustaceans, and what they do is they just kind of ride along and swoop them up with their jaw and their tiny teeth. And the water that comes along with the crustaceans is expelled through the gill slits that they have. The gulper eels can either be black or dark green, and they have very small eyes. The scientists don't really know much about their reproduction habits, but they know that shortly after reproduction, the gulper eels die. I have shown you some descriptive facts about the vampire squid, the deep sea anglerfish, and the gulper eel. These are just a few of the many fish and creatures that live in the deep sea. Sources that I got my information from are seasky.org, nationalgeographic.com, marinebio.org, livescience.com, smithsonianmag.com, aquariumofpacific.org.